morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we all doing? How are we doing this morning, guys? All right, let's have a look. So who we got on YouTube? Who's over on YouTube? Morning, Ed. Oh, one sec. Yeah. So currently short this morning. I'll give my breakdown in a bit. I just took a little short of this rejection block on the high. I'm just anticipating them to engineer liquidity on the high ahead of this morning's session. So I took a short on this this rejection block over here on the 1 min. So if we come over here, this rejection block, so 69. Just looking to get into this this void. I thought I had the camera situation sussed. Evidently not. So apologies for that. Just gonna have to deal with it, guys. Just gonna have to deal with it. So yeah, just short of the rejection block on the 1 minute. Just looking to take it down to this void at the moment. Just anticipating them to go run these highs later in the session. So just engineering liquidity on the highs. You got absolutely no news today, so be mindful of that. So when it's like that, when there isn't any news, I don't try and take price through dealing ranges.
Want to spend more time obsessing for every stitch? Shopify's tools help you sell everywhere, like online, on social, in person, and so much more. Get the right tools at Shopify.
All right, see if we got any earnings. What's the date today? The date is Tuesday 6th. Yeah, so we have quite a few. Spotify dropping pre-market open. Then you got the other biggies. You got Ford after market close. Which is a big old manufacturing company, Ford. All the others are pretty standard. So tomorrow is the next big day in the economic calendar. In terms of earnings, you've got Alibaba, PayPal, Walt Disney and Uber all dropping their earnings tomorrow. So expecting volatility tomorrow. It's just blue balled my exit. So it's got this whole site number, 750. It's likely just to bounce around here for a bit. What else we got? Yes, construction PMI. Then you got 12 o'clock. You got FOMC member Mester speaking. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. So very limited in terms of news today. But yeah, just short of this mitigation block on the high. How did everyone get on yesterday? Who's not part of Red Pill? If anyone's not Red Pill here, how did everyone get on yesterday? Good morning, Live Your Life Live. Good morning. So you've got ES putting in a lower low there. Yeah, you see this little turtle suit on this high here? Get to me, NQ. Get to me. So did anyone get on alright yesterday? I talk to myself. Francesco Medici. Buongiorno, brother. All good yesterday. Good stuff, mate. What did you trade? What were you trading? You indices or you forex? What's your bag, mate? NQ, good stuff. Yeah, so NQ yesterday was a lot of people would have got chopped up here. I got bored of price action yesterday, so I called it early yesterday inside a red pill. I did bag in the AM session, taking the short. But you had this classic accumulation inside of fair value, right? So if you just take this range, you look at premium discount. So accumulation inside of this discount range, right? So when it's like this, what you want to do, and you had arguments for both sides yesterday, for price to run the lows and also go and run the highs. Wait for a side to break out. Okay, so outside of accumulation. So I'm just managing my trade in a minute. And then you want to look at the high and the low of the accumulation, right? I personally don't take the wicks when I do this. Right, so when I measured the accumulation range, I don't measure the wicks, right? So the high to the low. Wait for price to break out, and then this is returning to point of origin. Returning to a point of origin, right? I'm currently short, yeah, but I wouldn't be jumping in now. I'm short off 60 odd, so I wouldn't be jumping in now. So price returns to fair value before expanding. Expanding into what? This little 5-minute SIBI. So then the opportunity to go short here. Yeah, offset accumulation, yeah, for sure. So I'm just looking for this little void just underneath the whole site number. That's going to be like my morning trade boxed. So I just went short off the rejection block on the high, just anticipating them to engineer liquidity ahead of the session later. We've also got the Asia lows still intact. And I played that after having this little turtle suit on this high here with NQ, right? So there's your trigger. Right, so that's where you're just going to close out that trade. Little $400 to start in the morning. Yeet, yeet. So you see this little high here on ES, right? So you got a double top on ES, right? If ES ever does this at a point of interest, right, at a higher time frame point of interest, I'm always looking to see what NQ does, especially if NQ turtle suits, right? So you have this little turtle suit, right? So this is your trigger to go short, to go take out liquidity on the low, right? You also then had ES take out this low, and NQ still had not taken that low, right? So when this is what I call, and what I've created, is called delayed SMT, right? So I basically just played delayed SMT here on NQ. If you don't know what that is, I teach it inside Red Pill Trading, but that's delayed SMT. So NQ catching up with the ES on the low after a turtle suit on the high. Just coming down to this little void. Very, very easy trade. So, as always, and I'm losing my throat, right, my voice, apologies. So, like, I always start with context, right? Whenever I'm trading, I always start with context. If you don't start with context, you haven't got a clue, right? There is no fair value gap without context. There is no inverted fair value gap without context. There's nothing without context. If you don't know how to do context, you're always going to be up shit's creek without a paddle, right? And so the context is we have no news today, right? We have no news. Zilch. Zada. So when it's like that, you want to be cautious about driving through dealing range highs, right? And a old high on a daily is a high that you'd anticipate to be driven through with news, right? So manipulation that is used and the volatility that is used with a high impact news event, right? We don't have that. So when it's like that, I'm not looking to take price through dealing ranges. You know, this is when price engineers liquidity on highs and lows, and then we'll drive it through later, right? So we have all these highs up here, sure, okay, but we know the PDRA matrix. What has price got to go through before it takes an old high? Well, that the last buck before taking an old high is a rejection block, right? So MIP block, breaker block, voids, fair value gaps, order blocks, rejection blocks, old highs, right? That's your PDRA matrix. So before this old high, what's it got to go through? Well, it's got to go through this rejection block, right? So whether you take it on the hourly or whether you take it here on this 1 minute. So this is now a point of interest on the higher time frame. It's a higher time frame point of interest, but with the context that we're in a day with no news on a Tuesday, right? We've also got this expansion of price from yesterday, which has had no major pullback. All right, we've still got the Asia low intact, and we've had distribution from the London session. So for anyone who's been with me a while, you'll know that after context comes schematics. So schematics, you'll know that, you're not looking to go long in the London session unless price comes back to fair value or a discount, right? You just don't do it, right? So even if price moves on for a new or AM session reversal, price will still come back to fair value or a discount of the London dealing range, right? So here, when we're up here and we had no pullback into the London range, we're now in a schematic where, even if price decides to carve, it's still in our favor. Even if it carves, or, right, even if it does that, or even if it does this, it's irrelevant. We're just trying to capture this range back into this little void on the low, right? So again, schematic on our side coming back into the London dealing range, right? So then you've got time, right? The time inside of a kill zone, 3:30 or 3 o'clock, right? This is the window during London where you're looking to trade between 3 and 4 personally for me, right? So now you're starting to piece it all together, right? You've got the context that we have Tuesday, no news. You're looking for price to engineer liquidity on the high because of that. You're not anticipating price to drive through dealing ranges highs because we have no news. We know the PDRA matrix is a rejection block on the high before an old high. So this is a higher time frame point of interest. We know that in terms of then schematics, just a pullback into the London range is favorable, even if we're anticipating potential continuation for a new or AM session reversal, or whether we're looking for a full-blown reversal, we would still anticipate a pullback. So schematics on our side, we're inside of a kill zone, we're inside of the time we want to trade. This is now high probability trading. Right? That is how you form a high probability trade, not just it's just a fair value gap. It's just an order block. Right, you haven't got a clue. Okay, so you can see how prices come all the way back. But what is this? This is now coming back to 62% at this London range. You're likely to anticipate price to bounce in this range. I'm not anticipating it to drive through this high, personally, and I'm definitely not going to trade it through that high. 100% not trading it through that high. Okay, so that was my trade. That's a little breakdown of my trade this morning, from going from context, schematic, time, entry. Make sense? Make sense, everyone? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out or ask away. So let's have a look at this now. So in terms of the 5 minute, right? This is our 5 minute protected low when it put in this new high, right? When it put in this high, So that is our protected low on the 5 minute. You know, so if you watch my YouTube series on protected lows, protected highs, there's your protected low. Okay, so price breaks and closes below this 5 minute protected low, so that's your market structure shift or a break of structure. Price moves back up into that rejection block before continuing down. So the question you have to ask yourself, okay, so if we've broken the 5 minute, what's the higher time frame dealing range? You know, what could price be moving to? Well, our higher time frame dealing range is here, right? So this is our 15 minute dealing range. So yes, we've broken a 5 minute dealing range, right here. So this is a market structure shift on the 5 minute. Yes, we've done that, but what have we done? We've just come back down to a 15 minute discount. So this is where you just want to be mindful of where you are on the higher time frame. Right, you can also take the hourly range, and we're back inside an hourly discount as well, right? So inside of an hourly discount and a 15 minute discount. So if you were short up here, you'd want to be taking your lion's share off here, anticipating price is likely to chop. So what you can do, if you're not anticipating this high to get ran out, you can just flip this higher time frame dealing range over. And what's more likely to happen for the next hour, you're just going to see price do this. Just bounce between a premium and a discount of this 15 minute dealing range. Just engineering liquidity, both sides of the market. All right. I managed to get my first run in this morning after 6 weeks out. It felt amazing. Injuries are hell, man. I'm feeling it this morning. Body aches. Yeah, 6 weeks without 6 weeks calf injury. In hell. So if I were you, I would certainly not be looking to jump into price here. This is where it's likely to just chop, right? If you're in from the high, sure, if you can hold runners if you want to go and take out the low, sure you can do that. But what you don't want to do is enter around fair value, right? That's what you don't want to do. I never do that. Ever do that. You either want to be in at the high, so a primary entry. I personally don't get into secondary entries, right? Unless I'm expecting aggressive distribution, right? So unless there's aggressive distribution, there's no chance I'm getting in on a secondary entry. I want to be getting in on the primary. This is where I'm getting in, 69, right? There's absolutely nothing to do with an OTE entry here. Zilch, zada. So what I'm interested in is this, right? So this is what I want to be in. You know, I want to be in on the turtle soup, not on this. I want to be in here, right? So on this very high. All right, so be careful of 39, right? Which is this old. There's this wick behind this Bissy. I'm personally out of the trade, Federico. I'm out, Francesco. Sorry, I'm out, bro. Just a tiny little scout for me this morning. Little $400. But if you for me, if I was still in, I'd be looking for 39. That would be my terminus, which would be this wick behind this BISI, right? Which is, if we look at this breaker structure on the 5. In fact, has that done it there? You know, so it did it there, right? So it's basically mitigated this range, right? You know, so if you look at you're talking about mitigation of ranges, right? So this breaker structure here. So when you close above this high, this range on the low is unmitigated. Okay, so price will have to come back and mitigate a range before continuing higher. So I'm just anticipating it to chop between a premium and discount. Just engineer liquidity both sides of the market. So what you can do is if you trade this style, you can just trade my search and destroy profile, right? You know, so I've spoken about how to trade search and destroy 1,000 times before on stream, so you can just deploy that. I'm definitely discretionary, bro, but I have very, very strict principles in terms of the way I trade. Like, just you can have discretionary trading, but you have to have, you know, rules that govern the way you trade. So it's not like I just go, oh, here's a fair value gap, right? I'm going to take a trade. Right? Yeah, no, there's certain principles in place that have to be there for me to take a trade, right? Namely, you know, I want to be at a high time frame point of interest. If I'm going to take a trade, I have to be inside of a kill zone. I have to be trading around a macro. I trade on a turtle suit, so this is what I'm looking for. I trade the turtle suit, and I have to be in a high time frame premium if I'm going short, and I have to be in a high time frame discount if I'm going long. So they are my governing rules. They're the rules that govern the way I trade, right? But in terms of like my approach to trading, yes, it is discretionary, but I guess what allows me to do that is I have a very, without sounding like a douchebag, I have a very good grasp on context, which most people overlook. They don't know how to do context. You know, so they're just looking for a mechanical system. But the problem with a mechanical system is if it's not in the right context, then, you know, they often fail, right? You know, so for example, if you're looking for like a, I don't know, like a, you know, like a 2 p.m. reversal, you know, yet you've got, you know, loads of earnings being dropped in the aftermarket close, and you haven't considered that context. Well, it's more likely that 2 p.m. reversal is just going to chop, right? It's not going to reverse at all. And when is it going to reverse? It will reverse when the earnings reports come out. So you can have all of the mechanicals that you want, right? But if you don't know how to, you know, apply context over the top of that, you know, you just allow them to slaughter. You're just pressing buttons for the sake of it. So I always say context before price. Everyone goes time before price, which is true, but I firmly believe context is more important than time. You have to have context, then time, then price. If there is no context, there is no trade. For example, I imagine a lot of people would be trying to trade this long to take out these highs because, you know, in ICT terminology, these are relative equal highs, right? You know, we've got relative equal highs on the high. You know, let's go take the previous day high for a turtle suit. All right, this is going to be our trade, guys. This is what we're doing. You just wait for a turtle suit, and then we'll come run the lows, right? Yeah, because, you know, that's what ICT says, right? If you got relative equal highs, look for a turtle suit. You know, look for it to sweep liquidity and then run the lows. Okay, but you haven't thought about context. You haven't considered context at all. You know, so in context, on a Tuesday when there's absolutely no news, it's highly unlikely that price is going to drive through a dealing range high. It's very unlikely. You know, so just that very small principle of understanding context in this instance enabled me to take this short with confidence, knowing that this rejection block would hold, and this old high would not be taken through. Context, right? context before time, before price. So I hope you find that useful. Just be careful if you are short. Make sure I'd take a position off at basically 40, which is this wick and this wick behind this this SIBI. If I were you, right, you're back inside of a discount, this 15-minute dealing range. For me, it's just likely to do this. All right, you're being warned. We are at fair. We are at fair value. Trade here and become liquidity. Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you're going to trade inside of 50% of a dealing range, you're just going to be, you are just liquidity, right? Right. So you just need to be aware of that. But signups, just to go back to your final point, like in terms of exits, like in terms of exits, I have certain things that I'm looking for. I call them X levels. Essentially, they're standard deviation projections and how I use them and how I draw them and stuff. It's not stuff I can go through on YouTube because I keep that for Red Pill, but. That side of my trading is extremely mechanical, like in terms of how I project out my exits and that sort of stuff. But in terms of entry, I'm letting the context leads my judgment when I'm about to take a trade. hope that makes sense. But I predominantly trade NQ, so I'm always looking to trade the turtle suit. Yeah, I mean, it takes a while, bro. Like, if you just spend a lot of time in front of charts, you tend to pick it up over time. But yeah, context is massively overlooked. Everyone just wants a system where it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, let's look for a break of structure, return to OTE, look for a fair value gap, right? That's what everyone wants. Everyone just wants that. Everyone wants, oh, just give me an inversion after a break of structures. Give me an inversion fair value gap. Yeah, that's fine. But how do you know where to pick the right inversion? How do you know where to pick the right OTE? How do you know when a break of structure is actually a break of structure? Right, that all comes down to context. Right, so this is what I'm talking about. You know, price is going between. I mean, and if you're like a hyper aggressive trader, you can literally just trade between these. If you want to do that, you just go up here and you wait for a turtle suit on a high, or you wait for a little sweep of this sell side into this order block. You trade the liquidity on the low. Right, this is my search and destroy profile. You know, these are easy, like, you know, 20 handle scalps, 10 handle scalp, 20 handle scalp, just bouncing back and forth. But it's just not my style of trading, right? It's just not my style of trading. I'm looking to, you know, capture range. But I mean, if you always start with your higher time frame context, more times than not, you'll be on the right side of the fence, right? You know, so you always want to look at, okay, so what's the high impact news event? What's the weekly calendar looking like? What's the earnings calendar looking like? That's equally as important as the economic calendar. A lot of people forget that. You know, what am I anticipating this candle to be drawing for, right? Where am I expecting this weekly candle to expand to and away from? And then on the daily, when it comes down to the actual day, I don't do this every single day, right? But if I'm looking to frame a trade, I want to know where I am on the higher time frame. Okay, so I know it's a Tuesday of no news. I know I'm anticipating this high not to get ran. Alright. Okay, so if we now go to... Oh, what that's doing up there. Okay, so this is the previous week's, the wick, right? And we know that wick have quads. This previous weekly wick. We know that, okay, I'm not anticipating this high to go out. So on a higher time frame, this is a higher time frame point of interest, around 65. Okay, so now on a lower time frame, I'm going, okay, well, what do we have around here where I can frame a short? What do I have here where I can frame a short? Right? So this is where I'm hunting for PD arrays to support price on the higher time frame for my bias, right? My bias is obviously for this high not to get ran, for them to engineer liquidity on the high, as I've mentioned. So we know we've got a high time frame point of interest. But what do we have? Okay, so we've got a 1 minute rejection block. We know in the PD array matrix, this is the last PD array before the old high. Okay, what do we have on the hourly? We also have an hourly rejection block, right? So we've now got higher time frame context. We also know that being up here is inside of a deep premium on the hourly dealing range. So we know we're inside of a higher time frame premium. So not only do we have higher time frame context in terms of a point of interest, we have a lower time frame PD array, and we also know we're in a higher time frame premium on the hourly dealing range. Okay, that's purely just using higher time frame context, right? Surrounded by, you know, economic calendar and earnings reports, right? Okay, so this is when you now know that this PD array is now a high probability PD array. So now all you're looking for is a turtle suit, especially if you trade NQ, right? NQ is your turtle suit king. So we have this liquidity that was created here. Okay, so where's my PD array? Well, it's at 69, right? So what do we have right here? We have this turtle suit into that 1 minute rejection block at the upper quad of this weekly wick. Inside the rejection block, inside of a higher time frame premium. Right? Okay, so you can, you know, you'll start to think that I'm literally telling price what to do. I'm not, right? This is just the principles of how price works, right? So in search and destroy, it's just going to go between a premium and a discount. Trust me. Where you do not want to enter is here. You do not enter in there. Whatever you do not enter in there. So what it's more likely to do is go and engineer liquidity on this high, whether it turtle suits this high, whether it just goes into this little rejection blocks irrelevant, right? It'll come all the way down to here, then it'll go and sweep, run into this order block on the high, then the liquidity that's been ran down here, it'll go and run this liquidity down here, and it'll just bounce in this range. So what I don't want to do is get in here, right? Because this is where, you know, you're just Chop City, right? Chop City. Good morning, Axe, mate. Noosh! Oh, yeah. I'll have to get a Thai massage later. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. I'm gonna drop the bombshell on her. I'm gonna ask her if she wants to come around my house and do it when I'm trading. I'm asking her. I'm doing it this time. I want to know what the day rate is. See what I mean? It's exactly what I was talking about, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you know, if you really want to, you can just scalp these. You can do this all day long until price eventually breaks out. So what you're looking to do is you either enter on the highs, you know, if you're entering in on this rejection block, so you're either entering up here and then you're holding runners to go and take the lows, right? And then you're paying yourself inside of a discount. So if you enter up here, you pay yourself inside of a discount, okay, anticipating price to do this. But you hold runners to take out the low, okay, if you're anticipating the low to get ran. If you're bullish, you do the opposite, right? You accumulate positions inside of a discount, you pay yourself in a premium, and you anticipate price to break out the high, okay? That's how you trade it. Where you don't want to enter is inside of fair value. Right, so what you don't want to do is enter inside of here. So this is my trade this morning. Where was it? Oi. That was my trade. That was my trade this morning. 2 seconds, guys. Anybody? So who's caught this trade this morning then? So obviously Francesco Medici has. Anybody else? And myself, of course, myself. Yeah, that'd be weird if I didn't. I'm calling the trade and I didn't take it. That'd be a weird thing to do, right? I think I've got one of those hairs that are growing the wrong way, you know? Got to that age where you got to trim your nose hairs, right? If you're below 30, you will not know what I'm talking about, but you wait. As soon as you hit 30, your nose hairs, right? Francesco, whereabouts in Italy you from, bro? My old man lived in Sicily for half his life. The douchebag didn't teach me any Italian. Oh, you're a fake Italian. Are you an American Italian? Eating deep pan pizza. Jesus fucking hell. You're from Slovakia, living in Cyprus. Are you on the run? Who are you on the run from, bro? What have you done? What have you done in a past life? No. He's called me out. Mate, one of my best mates, he's got a villa in Paxos, which isn't Cyprus at all, but over in it's on the peninsula, little island off of Corfu, one of those little islands. So as kids, we all used to go out there. It's like a bunch of mates used to go out there once a year. With your cough, bro, you're telling me about it. I'm actually booked in for scans on my cough. No joke, no shit. I need to get it checked out. But yeah, I think if we go anywhere, we're gonna go to Dubai because we got family out there and stuff. Like my missus's brother's got a business and he's got his own thing going on out there. I think if I lived in Cyprus or I went to Paxos, I'd drink too much. Mythos! Cold pint of Mythos, mate. Oof. Oof. A little Mythos. Sitting on a veranda down in Laka. Or Giosh. Just eating gyros all day, mate. That's what would happen to me if I moved to Greece. I'd drink Mythos and eat gyros. Trade Pipos. Can come out only if we trade, right? You can come over as long as you bring your laptop, mate. Otherwise, you're not welcome. Two laptops, Jesus. Who's the other one for? Were you going to mug me or something? Yeah, I knew you were on the run from something. The thief. Un thief. All I know in Greek is Kalispera. Kalispera. That's right, isn't it? Kalispera. And then Kalinikta. And then Kalinikta. And then all I remember is, because we used to go there when we were like 18, and we would go to the nightclubs and stuff. And the only word I remember was spitty. So if there was any bird that you wanted to bring home, you just go spitty. My spitty. Right, that's all I remember. Good old days, mate. The good old days. Yeah, Cyprus is beautiful. I've only been through Cyprus. I've never actually like stayed in Cyprus. I've been to. You'll probably hate this, but I've been to Turkey more times than I have Cyprus. Yeah, I know. My mate's. I got a Turkish mate, and. Yeah, that's why we used to go to Turkey. I actually got two Turkish mates. One, Semi Hakim and Deniz Shahin. My two Turkish mates. Istanbul is an amazing city. If you've never been to Istanbul, it's an amazing city. It really is. I mean, you got to keep your wallet close. I mean, stitch your wallet into your pocket. But apart from that, it's an amazing city. If you've never had a fish sandwich, christen your fish. Like, and I'm not talking fish fillet from McDonald's. Do you know what I mean? I'm not talking fish fillet from McDonald's. But if you want a proper fish sandwich, go down to the harbour in Istanbul. That's what you want. A fish sandwich in the harbour in Istanbul is a treat. So. What the hell is that? Yeah. Is that? Yeah, it's bread, isn't it? It looks like it's made out of dough, but that's bread, Roma, right? think the don't the Cypriots do that with? I swear they do that with dough. Yeah, yeah. It looks boss. You can get veggie ones and meat ones as well, right? $1, crazy. No, I used to the best stuff was like I want to say tagine, but tagine's the wrong word, isn't it? Tagine's Moroccan. What is it? What do they cook it in? Is it a tagine? What's that thing? What's that thing called? Yeah, exactly. I think it's no. I don't think they call it a tagine though. I don't think the Turkish call it a tagine. The Moroccans definitely do. When I went to Morocco, all we ate was like goat curry, which was in a tagine. But I don't think the Turkish call it that. What's their dish? Who knows what it's called? Oh, it's going to bug me now. Tandoor, isn't that Indian? I'm going in. Google, help me out. Turkish cook pot. I know, it is tagine. It is a tagine. They do it as well. Fair enough. There you go. Learn something new every day. Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing. Ed, what do you have here, bro? So, what are you doing? Was in Istanbul 2 times. Bosphorus River where they fish. Yeah, absolutely. Well, literally, as soon as you go to Istanbul, like if you go to, most people get the boat into Istanbul. It's literally as soon as you get off the boat, right next to where they undock. It's like basically it's the poor man's food, but it's friggin' amazing. All the workers go there. You know, everyone who works in the city or whatever. But it's amazing. It's very, very simple, but it's just fresh. But it's basically just fish and bread, but it's just amazing, super fresh. Do you have general meetings in Red Pill Daily, like briefings? Yeah, I always give what my sort of daily bias is going into the day, and I basically trade like this in Red Pill. You know, just calling price as we go through the day and stuff, that sort of stuff. And then I obviously teach in more depth in terms of like the secret sauce, the other little bits and bobs. Oh shit! Stuff which I just can't share on YouTube. It's not fair. I remember getting absolutely hammered in Istanbul once. Like I can't even remember where we were in Istanbul. We went sort of outside of town because you know obviously my mate's Turkish, and absolutely battered. And I got lost, and I ended up on this beach, and I had about I don't know what happened to me, but I had about sort of 10 beer cans around me, and I was propped up on this tree on the beach, and I basically collapsed and fell over. And this was like, it was midday. We basically went day drinking, and by 1 o'clock I was absolutely hammered, and I got lost, ended up on a beach propped up by this tree with all these tin cans around me. Anyway, I woke up to like there's about 5 or 6 of them, and these kids, and they must have been about 12 or 13, and I thought I was getting mugged, because they were like, oh, blah, all pointing at me and stuff. And I was like, oh God, this is a religious thing. I'm fucked. And then basically all they wanted was my tin cans. They were like, gimme. I was like, whoa. And I was absolutely trash, right? Hungover. And they're like, just give me a tin can. Give me a tin. I was like, fucking hell, just take it. Just have whatever you want. I was like handing over my wallet. Like, no. Anyway, they picked up all these tin cans around me. I don't know what they were doing, whether they were selling them or using them for scrap or whatever. But they ended up just cleaning up after me. I thought I was getting mugged, and essentially they just cleaned up after me. So that was a weird experience. Complete mini seek and destroy. Absolutely. Bag and tag, brother. Bag and tag. Took it from the high down to our low right here. Yeet. We done. If you want to be, holding for range, you can do, right? You just hold your position from up here and you anticipate price to do this, right? You anticipate this, but if you're looking for the lows to run out, you just hold these positions, right? And this is where you just have what I call lamb to slaughter, right? You know, so if you're in on this rejection block, right, you paid yourself in a discount, you paid yourself at terminus, which was this level, which I was talking about. And then not terminus, but the majority of your position comes off inside of a discount. And then you're holding lambs to slaughter. So your last stop is still above your original high, right? And you don't move that stop. You don't trail it behind this high. It just stays where it is. It's a lamb to slaughter. So if price comes all the way back up here, it can do that. It's not going to stop you out. And if it runs your high, it is what it is. That's what a lamb to slaughter is, right? But you're holding that final position to capture range, right? And it's this contract which will often bump out that road if you take losses in your trading, right? Anyone going on holiday this year? Anyone got any holidays booked yet? Yeah, you're going to his house, aren't you, Roman? Gonna go stay with the old Sergio Santos. Friends! If you're not seen in-betweeners, you'll not know what I'm going on about. Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Portugal as well. I might go say hello to Sergio. I think he's here, isn't he? Is he here? No, he's not here. He's in the live chat. I don't know if he's on here though. Go play golf. I know he says he doesn't play golf. I'm going to make him play golf because it's probably the one sport I can beat him at. He's like, you want to fight? Yeah, you're right, Sergio, mate. You chill out, bro. Play your golf though. It's my favourite. If you play golf, it's my favourite grass to play on. Portuguese. American grass is like playing on a. It's like playing on a broom, right? On like a one of those things on a sweep, just an upturned brush. Whereas Portuguese grass is it's kind of like a hybrid between British and American grass. It's still thick, but it's not like a brush. But the greens are ruthless in Portugal, because the way that all the greens are cut, like the way that grass is cut makes a huge difference in the way you putt, right? And in the UK, it's not so much because the grass is all over the shop, right? So when they cut it in a certain direction, you don't get like a grain of grass that affects your putt. But in Portugal, because the grass is so thick, like when they cut grass a certain way, like it really affects your putt. Like so you get like these major swings. For anyone who doesn't play golf, I'm probably boring you to death, but mate, I love golf, bro. I tried to become a pro when I was younger. I did the European tour card thing. They call it pro school, you know, when you got to go and you travel around 3 events and you got to come in like the top 6, and then you get a tour card for the lower tour, and then if you get through that tour, you get onto the European tour. So I did all of that. I did quite well, but then had an injury. My back went. I was like, fuck. It's like I didn't even tell any of my family I did it either. I just did it. And I was going to be like, oh yeah, you know, look, I got a tour card out of nowhere. So, but it didn't work out. So now I just play for money with friends and stuff. Golf's legit, bro. Golf's legit. I mean, it's changed a lot to when I was taking it seriously. I mean, now I just hire a buggy, you know, get some tins in the back. Yeah, get some tins in that little back crate in your buggy, and then just just go and drive around, have a bit of a piss up on a golf course. But yeah, it's good laugh. Half set of golf clubs. No, but I lost my number 8 when I last played. I've not changed my golf clubs in like 10 years. I've still got the old Nike Pros. Remember Tiger Woods' Nike Pros? I basically still use those. Hey X, question on SMT. You're short at the moment, right? What is making you trade against SMT on the recent highs? I'm not short anymore, bro. I'm already out. I was short, now I'm out. So I'm anticipating all of this to get around. You know, I'm anticipating this, right? So this is what we're talking about, engineered liquidity. So when I was talking about this literally about half an hour ago, 45 minutes, right? Just anticipating price to go sweep this high into this order block, to go run the low. Now with engineered liquidity on the low, it's likely we're going to go run this liquidity into, take this buy side to run into this little volume imbalance, right? To then come all the way back down to fair value to engineer more liquidity, right? Tuesday, no news. So I'm anticipating all of this, right? But I don't need to trade it. I've already taken my trade, right? I'm done. I'm in. I got in the high probability entry and I took my exit. I'm done. So this is seek and destroy. But I was saying, if you want to, you can trade this. There's nothing stopping you trading this. If you want to just like trade between a premium and discount, you can do that. It's just not my style, because at some point the price is just going to break and you're going to get caught in it, right? So yes, I'm anticipating these highs to get cleared out, but do I need to trade it? No, I don't. Trade's already taken place. If you missed it, you missed it. It is what it is. Right, let's go around the houses, have a look, see what crude's up to. So yesterday we had a beautiful bounce. Where are we at now? So gold for me is this up here. Is where I'm interested for gold. So I'll be looking for gold to go up here today. This unmitigated range on the high. So basically, if price can get up there, I'm potentially looking for a short. I mean, you can look for a long to trade it up there, but let's have a look. Come back all the way down to this the NMOG. So you can trade off the NMOG, but I'd stay out. I just anticipate it to bounce ahead of the open. But for me, I'm going to be looking for 74.33 for a potential short on crude. So if price gets up here, I'll be interested for a short. But until then, I'm staying out. Let's have a look at Dixie. So same on Dixie. Dixie, I'm looking for it to get to CE of this daily SIBI. Let's have a look. So for me, just staying patient now, just waiting for the next opportunity to set up. Shoulda, coulda, woulda held runners, I didn't. Sorry. If you find value in these in the stream, guys, consider smashing the old like. There, it means a lot. That's all I ask. Don't ask so much. Be appreciated if you're on stream on YouTube. Equally, if you don't want to do that, yeah, don't feel pressured. So there's 11 of you on, there's 6 likes. 5 here. Karma is a biacha. Biacha, right? So if you lose money today, there's your reason. Alright, that's karma coming to slap you. Sort your attitude out. Yes, Jamal, you're correct. Yes. It depends what range you're using, of course. Like if you're on the 15-second, Jamal, you've gone through that. Cheers, Ed. Appreciate that, bro. That's it. 90. Appreciate it. I can guess who the one is. Good judge of character. That's one of my biggest traits is judge of character. Being able to judge someone's character. Whether they're genuine or not. Right, guys, just going to make myself a quick drink. I'll be back. Morning trade, London trade, boxed. So don't feel like you have to jump into something, right? If you're sat here and you're going, I'm not trading, something ain't right, what's going on? Why is X not saying where price is going next? Let's go and find a stream where someone's doing something. All right, you've got an addiction. You need to work on that, right? So just chill. Wait for another high probability setup, right? Patience is a beautiful thing in life, especially in trading. So adopt some patience. If you missed this, unlucky, your fault. Learn why you didn't take it, and how you could take it next time, right? So I'm not looking to take another trade for a bit, so I'm just gonna go make myself a drink. I'll be back in a second, guys. All right. A little balanced price range here on the 5 minute. So what price has just run into here. You got this void up here. You'd anticipate price to come and fill in this void. Has anyone else got that void on their chart, or is it just mine? Sometimes TradingView goes weird. No, there's definitely a void there. If it gives an opportunity, you can look for this. Carl City. So personally for me, just sat patient. Just got one trade off the high. Just sorting out my charts, guys. One sec. Morning, Poe, mate. Yeah, might have to have this one on repeat. It's the only decent one I can find. So just breaking down this price action here, right? Just be mindful of what we've actually got here. So you've also got this accumulation. So this is a point of origin. Return to point of origin for expansion. You then had this sweep of liquidity yesterday. Now these are all propulsion blocks inside this previous pool of accumulation here. So you can see we've had displacement. So I'll be looking to see if price comes back to these propulsion blocks for price to expand higher again, or whether it just wants to carve through. So at the moment it's not high probability for me at the moment, especially on a Tuesday of no news. Like if we had news, you'd have a news driver, right, to take you through it. But at the moment I'm not anticipating these highs to go, which only leaves running out the lows. So that's our protected low on the 15 minute. See how this candle closes. You see this currently inside this balanced price range on the 15 minute. So with balanced price range, you don't mind it being tested once, but on the second time you don't want to see it go through CE, right? So again, nothing high probability for minute. Yes, there's a potential scalp out of here, but not for me. Take it easy, Francesco. Gonna run quite literally, bro, away from the police, no doubt. So keep us updated, mate. So there goes Francesco Medicini, the Slovakian who lives in Cyprus, who's quite clearly on the run from the 5-0. So we wish him well. Good luck on your travels, mate. Yeah. So you still got you got an SMT on the low, right? So this low here, ES tail suited, not NQ. So my draw for today will be to come and take this low out. Which is currently where ES is sat at the moment. So you can see how NQ is the only one who hasn't taken this low out. You always want NQ to do the turtle suiting, right? So this would be your draw today, to come and take out this low. See if we've got anything on the high as well. So that was the stop run that triggered our short this morning. You got this divergence on a high as well, but the thing is, you want NQ to total suit the high. That's what you want to see. So for me, I'd want to see the lows get ran. Right, guys. I'm gonna call my little session here on YouTube for today. Very short and sweet today. So I hope you found value. There's nothing high probability for me, so I'm basically just gonna go and do something else for a bit. Right? I've taken my trade this morning. We're bagged and tagged. There's a little scalp out of here, long potentially, but just looking for price to mess about until the open, right? We're currently inside the 15-minute balance price range, right down here. Okay, so there's a little scalp out of here, but not for me. So I'm gonna call my session here on YouTube. I might be back for the PM session in an hour or so. All right, guys. If you're about, I might jump back on. But I'm just gonna go do something else for a bit as price just chops about. Aight. So I'll see you. I'll see everybody who's in RP and RP. For those on who are not in RP, I'll catch you very, very soon. Aight. So I'll catch you soon. Take it easy, guys. It's been fun. Catch you soon. Abush.